Question: what is your COVID protocol? Okay, this is another very complicated one. I'm a Western herbalist, and the way that I use herbs is everything is rooted in energetics. So I don't have herbs for coughs and herbs for fevers and herbs for influenza. What I do is say, like, what kind of cough does a person have? What kind of fever do they have? How is influenza, or in this case, COVID, presenting for them? And then that will guide what types of herbs that I use for that person. My experience so far with COVID has been that, like, a whole bunch of people have had COVID, and they've had it in different ways. Some had more respiratory system symptoms. Some had more digestive symptoms. Some people had higher fever. Some people had lower fever. Some people didn't have fevers at all. And so having a protocol for COVID might not make sense, because if someone, doesn't have a fever going on, we don't need to use herbs to support fever. If they have a high fever versus a low fever, we would use different herbs for the high fever than we would for the low fever. If they don't have a cough going on, we don't need an expectorant, right? So everything really depends on the presentation. I will say that there are some commonalities, and a lot of these are nutritional. So for pretty much everyone, I would suggest vitamin D3. I would suggest vitamin C. I would suggest zinc. Most people I've suggested echinacea to. Elderberry, I think, can apply to a lot of people because it's a sort of generalist herb. If someone has respiratory symptoms, I've very, very commonly say that steam inhalations with aromatic plants are really good. But outside of that, I'm looking for patterns of dryness, patterns of dampness. Do I need to relax tension? And that's all very personalized and very individual. I think that when we have a protocol for a condition, that's okay. But it has to be like a highly adaptable protocol for a condition so that we can apply it to the person who has the condition. Otherwise, even though we're still using herbs, it's not really holistic, right? If you have like anyone who has COVID gets this protocol, or anyone who has influenza gets this protocol, or anyone who has Lyme or who has lupus or who has whatever, gets this specific protocol, and they get all of this stuff, then you're not treating the person. You're not really working holistically, even though you're using herbs. Everybody in holistic medicine says we treat the person and not the patient. Oh, wait, I didn't say that right. I'm going to start over. Maybe this could get edited. Maybe I'll go back and edit it, but maybe I'll just leave it in here because it'll take time to find it to edit. Everyone in holistic medicine says we treat the person and not the name of their condition. But if you have a static protocol for a condition that you give to everyone, you're not really doing that. So I think energetics is the part of herbalism that focuses on the person and not the name of the thing that they have. Oh yeah, hydration, totally important.